All right, y'all, what's good? What's happening? Your man Tone Space. I'm gonna rap about this little Tekashi 6ix9ine thing real quick. Now, it's just been revealed to the public the wiretap transcripts of what was allegedly supposed to be Treyway and the crew trying to super violate 6ix9ine in light of and after his latest Breakfast Club interview. Now I see a lot of videos on it, and a lot of people are thinking, oh, this is 6ix9ine's get out of jail free card. They got the transcripts where they're saying that, oh, he was never a gang member and everything, that he could play an angle like he was being extorted, he was forced to do everything with the crew and all that, and this will just get him out of jail or significantly reduce his current situation and the indictment that's against him, right? Now, I hate to burst bubbles, and hopefully I'm not bursting bubbles. Hopefully that's a bubble that, could be popped. A whole bunch of colorful balloons just popping in celebration of Son getting free and stuff like that, right? However, I'm reading into things at least a little bit different, and, I'm going to break down the transcripts real quick, and we'll get into it, right? Okay, the gentleman by the name of Jones is allegedly Mel Murder of the Treyway crew, and Jordan is allegedly Shotty of Treyway, right? So let's get into it. These are the transcripts of, their conversation with both Jones and Jordan, with both Mel Murder and Treyway, as well as Mel Murder and another individual that has not been named or at this current point is not known. Right? This is what they were saying. The reason why the FBI and them was saying that 6ix9ine's life was in danger. Right? Let's get into it real quick. It says Hernandez. So the things in parentheses are who they're talking about, right? So Hernandez, that means 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine is trying to, this is Jones, this is supposedly Mel Matrix. 6ix9ine is trying to dry snitch at the same time, homie, but he keeps saying, fuck Treyway, fuck that nigga Treyway, ain't no Treyway, fuck Treyway. Shotty responds, he laughs, I'ma feed him though. Mel Murder says, yo, what you doing? Damn, I don't even want to talk on the phone, homie. We gotta meet up and talk, right? Now, there's another conversation with a person that, as of this point, has not been revealed. Individual number one. 6ix9ine is definitely humiliating Shotty right now. Mel. That's what 6ix9ine is trying to do. That's what he's trying to do. He trying to separate himself. Unknown person. That's cool. Now we got to get violated. Mel. Yeah, super violated. Super duper. Ain't no much he could really do unless he run around with 100 armed securities all day. Unknown person. He ain't got enough money for that. Mel. That's a fact. And he just canceled all his shows. Unknown person. And he ain't a gang member no more. Mel. Nah, he ain't nothing. Unknown person. That's what Shotty needs to make sure to do. Mel. Yeah. Unknown person. Just tell that nigga he not a gang member no more. He kicked out the whip. He was never a gang member. Nigga, Shotty needs to expose him. Unknown person. And Shotty gotta figure it out. But they gotta violate 6ix9ine. Mel, yup, unknown person. If 6ix9ine think he gonna be going to strip clubs and that type of shit, Shotty better get on his A game. Mel, they're gonna be riding that nigga scrap. Shotty don't got nothing to lose no more. This is all he have. Unknown person. Well, he better get to violating, and he better stalk 6ix9ine every move, right? Okay, so a lot of stuff was revealed in that transcript, right? Now the part that everyone is really harping over, that's saying that it's kind of like 6ix9ine's, the thing that's gonna have him skating, is the part where it says, let me get to it. Okay, unknown person. Just tell that nigga that he not a gang member no more. He kicked out the whip. He was never a gang member. Nigga, Shotty need to expose him. That part right there, right? Now people were saying the fact that unknown person said that he was never a gang member, that that just excludes him. That separates 6ix9ine from the rest of them. So all their dealings, the indictment, all the stuff that they're into or whatever, boom, that's a huge break in the case in 6ix9ine's favor, because now he could ride with the whole idea that he was never a gang member. But here's where I have issue with it, which makes this transcript kind of conflicting, right? Is just tell that nigga that he not a gang member no more. So sure, and a little bit after that, he says he was never a gang member, but prior to that, he says he's not a gang member no more. If you're saying he's not a gang member no more, that implies he once was a gang member, or at the very least, because the exact words are, just tell that nigga Okay, yeah, just tell that nigga he not a gang member no more. All right, at first I thought they were talking about to tell 6ix9ine he ain't a gang member no more, but actually looking at the context, he means to tell Shotty, just tell that nigga that he not a gang member no more. He kicked out the whip. Now, in the comments, maybe y'all could, help me out on this, but I have the understanding that kicked out the whip is slang for kicked out of the gang. You know what I'm saying? Correct me if I'm wrong. So that kind of reinforces the whole notion of 6ix9ine being in the gang, or at the very least that 6ix9ine thought he was in the gang, because as I understand, all this is alleged as far as if any motherfucking gang even exists, right? But as I understand, according to this alleged gang, Shotty is the person Jones, who is supposedly Mel. He's of a higher tier than Shotty, right? And individual one sounds like he's of a comparable tier, even more of a higher tier than Mel, because he's like, kind of telling what to do. He's like, yo, just tell that nigga that he not a gang member no more. So that means at the very least, Shotty was probably under the impression that 6ix9ine was a gang member. And if Shotty was under that impression, then Shotty's going to have 6ix9ine under that impression. So what does that mean? That means all the moves that 6ix9ine was doing and rocking and banging out with them, he did it with the intent to rock, alongside the gang, alongside the crew. You know what I'm saying? He kicked out the whip. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was of the impression that that means he's kicked out the gang, which kind of reinforces the whole idea that he was a gang member. You know what I mean? And then kicked out the whip. He was never a gang member. Now that part, that is good in 6ix9ine's favor, but it's just so conflicting. Like if it just said that and didn't say all that, not a gang member no more, kicked out the whip, then boom, I would say, you know what, y'all right. Everybody to think that, is going to help 6ix9ine a lot, and it may still help him a lot. But the fact that, the precept before that says he's not a gang member no more and he's kicked out the whip. If kicked out the whip means that you kicked out the gang. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, when this was recorded, pretty much all or most of the stuff that's in the indictment, minus this, conversation, if this ends up being a charge or whatever, all that other stuff in the indictment was during the time where Shotty was of the impression that 6ix9ine was in the gang, and where 6ix9ine was of the impression that he was in the gang. So that means anything that he was involved in that may have been close to them cats, allegedly, when they were doing all this other alleged stuff that's in the indictment, that means 6ix9ine was rocking with them under the impression that he was down with them, that he was a member of the crew or whatever, right? So, it's kind of funny style. And, I'm just looking at the words, taking the words and extrapolating that out of there. And I'm not a professional. I'm not a prosecutor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not any of that. So I just feel like if I could look at it in this type of light, best believe that the people that's trying to keep them jammed up and, have them go down, they're going to look at it in this comparable light, if not a whole lot more detailed. Like, for example, I don't know if kicked out the whip necessarily means kicked out the gang. I think it does. But best believe the prosecutor, all them people, they're going to know that. They're going to have their homework done. They're going to know all the slang terms. It means what and everything like that, right? So it's weird. And then another thing people were saying, oh, now 6ix9ine is going to get bail, as these transcripts were revealed. Well, think of the timeline, though. As I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, this is just being revealed to us. Like, this is the wiretap where after the Breakfast Club interview, they got 6ix9ine and warned him about this very conversation, if I'm not mistaken. So basically what that means is this conversation, even though it was revealed to us brand new, it was, something that they had prior to 6ix9ine getting locked up and prior to them denying him bail. So I don't see how, just because this conversation has been released to the public, I don't see how, that's going to change anything, because that means they had it all along. If I'm not mistaken. Like I said, in the comments, if I'm messing up or if I got any details off, hit the comments. Let me know what you think. And, if you just want to chop it up, and if you think I have a point or you have a nice counterpoint that really, really says that this is in 6ix9ine's favor, please share that. I mean, granted, it's definitely better than nothing, you know what I'm saying? But it's just so conflicting. He was never a gang member, I mean, if that's like a higher tier member of this alleged gang, then okay, the top tiers may know that, he was never a gang member and he's just putting that info out. But if he has to tell Shotty that he was never a gang member no more, that sounds to me like Shotty was of the impression that he was. And if he was, I mean, 6ix9ine was of the impression that it was. So, I'm rambling a lot about the joint. But yeah, just tell me what you think. I think it's definitely good that this has been revealed like this. But it's just so conflicting. And I can see the prosecutors or them people trying to pick this apart and, you know, fine tooth comb, just go through the literal context of it, and will probably say that no, this actually proves that he was a gang member. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. I guess we got to see how it all plays out.